Alright, everybody. Happy New Year. How'd your New Year's go? Uh, I just, I was sleeping for the bell, so hope you had a better New Year than mine. Obviously, I've had a lot worse, but it was quiet. It was no drama. I like that. Obviously, as I explained, I think in another video that I had, I was just knocking the kind of know what it's like at Christmas, New Year, man. You're in your aunties, then you're in your uncles, then you're in your grannies, then you're in your grandads, man. And everywhere you go, you're just drinking and eating. Know what I mean? So, I just had a quiet one, the same as my Christmas. As I say, just knocking it in the head, man. I've got different things I want to be doing, and obviously since I've started this channel, just opportunities getting kind of, don't want to say flung at me now, but like I've had more opportunities in the past 2 months, 3 months than I've had in the past 3, 4 years, know what I mean? So it kind of speaks for itself. Um, but uh, so I wanted to talk about today how about desistance in prisoner re-entry coming home from prison. And the reason that I wanted to talk about that today was because obviously as I explained to in another video somewhere, how I was going to Edinburgh, right? Now that was the day that happened, but as you'll know from my last video, I injured my shoulder in one of my classes, right? And I had painkillers, whatever. But the see yesterday, I mean, it wasn't going away, and I was actually worrying. The pain was travelling like right out the kind of see the kind of horseshoe bit there, right down here, and then it was coming down to my bicep and going right down the back of my arm, right into my hand, right like pins and needles and numbness, not. And I'm like, fuck, man, what's going on here? And I had a pain under my arm and all that, so like I was just totally engaging in catastrophic thinking, just like, oh no, this has got to be a fucking heart attack. What if it's a stroke? What if it's this? What if it's that? Blah blah blah. Right. End up phoning that NHS 24. When I had the video call with the doctor, just basically says, "Have you either got does it rotator's cuff?" Somebody commented the other day. I'd never heard of that. And so, or they said it might be torn ligaments. I thought I would have felt this when it happened, but it just kind of snuck up on me. And then yesterday I was sitting going, I'm supposed to be in Edinburgh tomorrow. If I don't go there, that's going to fuck me up and blah blah blah. Um, and I totally convinced myself I wasn't going. In fact, I was adamant I wasn't going, right? Um, and what ended up happening was so the day, right? The day I ended up getting my pal ended up giving me a lift there and back to Edinburgh because yesterday like I phoned a couple of people and I was like, see like shoulder to cry on type thing. Like fucking hell, this pain's not going away. I'm going to be up in this Edinburgh tomorrow, and I just thought it was going to be like a big massive formal room, and they're all sitting there. Nobody's nobody's even want to cough. You know what I mean? And I was just like, oh fuck this, I can't be doing with that. But you know what? I ended up just going, no what, fuck it, get up there and get this shit done. Because as I said before, I had written out a list of things I want to achieve this year, and that meeting was the first thing on it. So it wouldn't have been a good fucking start to the year if the first thing on my list I had to put an X against it, you know what I mean? Um, uh, not gonna lie, if I think if my pal hadn't have said he would have came and got me, took me there and brought me back, I don't even know if I'd have went. It was just because I don't drive, know what I mean? And I just hate public transport. I fucking hate it, man. For reasons I'll not get into on here, know what I mean? But I thought that this kind of links in with what I'm talking about today because obviously this place is actually a charity that was set up by ex-offenders for ex-offenders. Now, I was walking home from my class in the run up to Christmas, right? And the guy who had co-founded this charity phoned me. And this all came about because see last year, right, all the ups and downs in my fucking life, um, people had been saying to me before, as well as this podcast and shit, how do you know volunteer? You'd be great talking to your young team. Right, I've heard that, but I just roll my eyes because I remember when I was a wee guy and I would have been like, who's that fucking idiot? Being truthful. But before I started doing this podcast, I was actually looking into volunteering because I'm just stuck at home a lot, and obviously being a full time fucking dad, it's listen man, seeing you're getting no help and know what I mean. Um, it's harder than I make out. It's not like I'm making it it's easy. I'm just like taking it as it comes. You know what I mean? But the thing is with the volunteering, when people had been saying it to me, like I didn't really. I'm not. I don't. I always say I'm not a people person. I'm actually if it's the right people. I'm somewhere in between, but I just didn't see myself as volunteering, try to help people with their problems when I've got fucking plenty of my own, which is quite funny because you always hear people say try and take some of your own advice. Now, I'm mega guilty. I know take my own advice, but get plenty for other people who want to do the daft shit I done. You know what I mean? But I emailed three different charities, right, ex-offender charities, and the only one that mailed me back was this one I went to today, right. Ended up talking to the guy, he's done a few sentences and all that. And obviously it's one of the ones I know, you know everybody who's done time, you're just going to automatically engage with them, have chemistry with them. It's just like anything else in life, like if you walk into a locker room playing for a football team, a locker room getting changed at work, whatever the fuck it is, there's gotta be people you go with and people you don't go with, right? So obviously, like when I'm getting into this kind of volunteering shit for ex-prisoners as well, I'm thinking like, you want to be getting on with the people who you're working alongside, you know what I mean? And I can be quite, I would come across as dead guarded if you didn't know me, but that's because my brain's doing the talking. I might be sitting here looking all deadpan, but trust me, my brain is working and it's just assessing everything I can about the situation, who you are, what kind of person, whatever. Everything that comes out your mouth is a piece of that jigsaw. But when they got back to me, they ended up saying something like, "Oh, we don't offer services in the west of Scotland at the moment," which I thought was quite fucking story of my life, man. The door's always shut, the shop's never open, bail is denied. Know what I mean? I just expect it. But as I says, I was walking back for class um, couple of weeks ago, and this guy's phoned us saying, telling us what they do, how to help ex-offenders, basically come back to society, which is a whole body of academic study in itself. It's called prisoner re-entry. So basically all the kind of things that are specifically associated with you leaving prison and trying to resettle back into the community. Now you could argue that it's a pure interesting side of studying, but I found it easy because I was actually living it. And when I say living it, what I mean is, right, so the desistance literature, who's living it? Somebody that's not committing crime. Oh, but you were in prison. Aye, well, you can commit a crime in a prison. If you can be charged with an offence in a prison, then to me, you can, by definition, you can desist in prison. And I'm going to say, I've probably seen more crimes committed in there than out here. Just because they get swept under the rug, the jail doesn't want to pay fucking 20 grand on an escort to hospital and court and all. No, sometimes that's what they'll look at the bigger picture if there's been an incident. But that has always been something I've noticed in desistance literature. It's like, oh, but you're in prison, so you were out of commission. No, I could only target people who worked in this environment. I couldn't target MD outside unless I had access to phones and shit. So that's what I'm saying. Like, these wee kind of questions in the desistance literature. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's pretty, thing with important ones. It definitely need answered, obviously, because like I think that there's enough literature out there to start actually making a fucking impact somewhere, and I'm no slaughtering any of these guys or women who've written this. The problem's not with you. The problem's somewhere along this pipeline. That pipeline is broken, or it's not getting through to the other end. The information, something's really gone wrong here. When you look at all the stuff that's been coming out, the literature, I mean, in what are we seeing? Where has it been rolled out, implemented? I don't see any, and I'm not saying that's because I'm sitting in front of Google Scholar all fucking day typing up desistance literature post COVID. No, I'm not doing that at all. But obviously, I know enough to fill in the gaps before that because I did my own studying, and obviously try and put it through the lens of me being out, me living this literature, re-entry literature. So obviously, for coming back for a fucking big sentence like that, you know, you're going to notice a lot of changes in people, places, everything. It's just, how do I put it? It's a bit like E.T. going to fucking Mars or Earth. I don't know. It's just, and I never noticed it. I never ever noticed or appreciated all this until this time I came out 4 years ago. Um, and obviously I put a lot of that down to being a dad, being more mature, wanting different things for my life, you know what I mean? And obviously I could never have seen myself volunteering to go up to an LTP jail and walk into a fucking agent's visit. It could be could meet somebody I know. Chances are I probably am. But at the same time, like this is a new identity role, and they talk a lot about identity in ed assistance literature and that because, like, say you identify with the local fucking heavy, whose advice are you going to listen to? The local kiddie, the big man, whatever. Whose advice you going to listen to? If he's telling you, listen, wee man, you shouldn't walk my path and all I've done all X, Y, and Z, or else he could be sitting saying, listen, wee man, you would well fill my shoes. You're fucking you're my top boy, all these wee guys, all that shit. So you've got two sides of the same coin. But my point was, if people are seeing change in people who you never would have thought, that's obviously saying something good. Do you know what I mean? And before I get right into this, I just want to say I'm going to read a wee bit out of a blog article that I wrote in Kilmarnock prison, right? Now it is a bit fucking wordy, shall I say, but there's like wee bits I want to read out and explain because obviously I'm not going to expect any to go and fucking pure look shit up I've written and like you probably like you probably see like maybe 10 things you ever done that you're just looking for one thing to jump out and nothing jumps out so you don't read any of it. Right, hold on. So hold on, right. So here I'm talking about how desistance in successful reintegration into society has to be met at the other side by the people who are in charge and not just sitting hitting it with these wee cool sound bites and tokenism gestures like fucking they're your 150 for your bus fare every week to fucking jumpstart or whatever the fuck it's called. It has to be meaningful fucking debate and policy implementation for this kind of stuff because for what I can see, either they're not serious enough about it or they want things to stay the way they are. It's the only answers I can think of, to be fair. So, hold on. So, what I've said here is I would argue that there not only appears to be some overlap in relation to the successful reintegration of people leaving prison, but also in the role that society and the government has to play in this broader endeavour. For me, change starts with the individual and ends with society. So that relates to like my case and probably your own as well, is because right, think it this way. if you, just say you've been in and out of jail 10 year, 15 year, whatever, so obviously committing crime is a part of who you are, but nobody's going to just hand this rehabilitation to you, this reform. You have to work for that. It comes from in here. It's no like a tablet you take and boom, that's you sorted. It comes from a long fucking hard road, a questioning and soul searching. And if you can get through all that, don't mean unwork that trauma, go through all the shit that happened, admit it all to yourself, and then I think that, so if you're like wearing your heart on your sleeve in relation to the criminal justice system and the penal system, should they no meet you halfway and put things in place where you're gonna be able to come out and just call a spade, a fucking member of society, like somebody who can just live like Joe Blogs, going to his work, looking after his kids, no fucking sitting on the couch out there nut every day, fighting with the neighbours, all this kind of stuff. I would definitely say that is the case, because obviously, as I've said before about how in Holland, Spain, couple of France, couple of European countries, they have this thing called judicial rehabilitation, where basically, if you can prove to a court of law, right, these people aren't daft, right, they know when somebody's bullshitting them. If you can make it to a courtroom to put that case on for you to be judicially rehabilitated, that would be fucking, that would be amazing. Not to say everybody, obviously you can fail, do you know what I mean? Like if you're trying to apply for it and you've had like 10 blips in the radar and that fucking 10 year for no exactly spitting in the fucking pavement, you know what I mean? It's like, say, weapons, violence, whatever, then obviously that would indicate that, I don't even think you'd pass a laugh test, but I definitely think that's something that the government has to put some fucking time and effort into like implementing that, or doing something where people with bad histories can be legally classified as rehabilitated. That would I think that would really make a monumental impact in people's lives. Do you know what I mean? But it's how serious are they about it? I don't think that. I think kinda right. What I think is there's that many issues, and it's not a one size fits all approach, which penal system, or they love the one size fits all approach because there's that many numbers. Do you know what I mean? There's that many people there. They're just fucking, just get them all in numbers, in fucking rooms, bums on seats, all that shit. So I've written before about the importance of the shift in identity. You cannot have one foot on the wrong side of the law and the other foot on the right side. A person conducting himself in such a manner is playing both sides of the fence and waiting to fail. Imprisonment is not a promising context for identity change. The magnification of individual risk may render potential desisters unwilling to commit to transformation. Continual focus on risk blinds criminal justice agents to the offender's potential for change. Moreover, the lack of social opportunities in the community post-release surely is an ideal breeding ground for reoffending. And even if imprisonment could be seen as providing a catalyst for change, this is more difficult than it sounds, especially if institutions and the people within them are not completely committed to reform or desistance. Now, there was one wee thing there that definitely jumps out at me, right, and obviously this is for personal experience and what I've seen inside prison, is the magnification of individual risk may render potential desisters unwilling to commit to transformation due to the continual focus on risk. So what that means is risk needs responsivity was the tool they used to assess likelihood of reoffending, all this crap, right? Age of first offence and all this static dynamic risk factors, all this shit. No. I seen people in the jail, right, who were blatantly like maniacs, right? One of them slashed a guy a couple of months after this particular jail opened. I mean, opened him right up, man. Guy was out in parole a year later. No, guy's missing. But my point to this is, how does somebody who's supposedly got all this violence, right, and then do that, but then still get out, but then somebody like myself, right, ball deep in education, done all your courses, was classed as a risk of a violent reoffending. Now, how do these tools work where somebody who's still using violence as a mode of conflict resolution in prison, like get out, like be recommended for release by a prison psychologist, but then somebody who's like the opposite, no get it, and I'm not saying that try to like go, oh well, I was so hard done to. Listen, I couldn't give a fuck, man. I'm sitting here now, know what I mean? Obviously I would have fucking butt their horn clean off for parole, right? Let's not kid ourselves. However, I've always wondered how you can get a case, right? You're like, he's no getting out, he's no getting out, and they get out, and then someday you're getting out, and they don't get out. It's like, what is that about? It's weird. But there was, we're talking about identity change in the custodial setting, right? And I would definitely say this was where mine was kind of brewing, because in order for you to stop seeing yourself as a criminal or in a criminal, I'm wee Chrissy the car thief, I do a bit of gear, I do whatever, right? Whatever it is you're into doing, right? You're seeing yourself as part of that life, that mindset. Do you know what I'm talking about? And if you think otherwise, you either don't know about it or you're blissfully unaware. Because I remember sitting listening to all these people back in the day. I'd be like, how the fuck are you, man? And then 20 years later, it's all gone ding, 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 like oofed. So if you can try and show somebody else this shit, for want of a better word, then who's to say it couldn't like click in somebody else's brain? Obviously it helped with me because I was actually studying the shit, but I think that it has to be well done with this research. It's madness, you know what I mean? It's like, when I'm saying about the SPS meant to be like bringing desistance literature into the prisons, and they've not done it. They're going on about something else now. But hold on, right? So some criminologists argue that three conditions must be present to support positive change. Now we're talking about identity, right? So motivation to transform, the capacity to act in a different manner, as well as opportunities to cement this change, right? So you've got motivation to transform, opportunities to transform, and aye, that was it. Motivation, opportunities, right? So you might argue your motivation to transform is the prison sentence, right? And that is pretty sound. That's a pretty sound statement, because it's meant to be teaching you a lesson, right? Showing you what you done wrong and all that stuff. But let me ask you, right? Sending somebody to prison and putting like them in with people who are probably just as bad or worse. And I'm not knocking prison, because we do need it in a lot of cases, and a lot of times I think it's just used a bit too trigger happy. But I think there was this French sociologist. They said that prisoners should be segregated according to different factors: age, the severity of the offence, and I kind of believe that, because you imagine putting a shoplifter in with somebody that's done like 3 murders, even 1 murder. I always found that was fucking a bit daft. Because obviously what you have there is, what else can end up happening is guys who aren't that criminally sophisticated end up just becoming a bit more hangware. And so what is prison doing? Is it actually making better criminals? Do you know what I mean? Like, to me the reoffending rate would speak for itself. Because it's the fact our jails are packing every fucking year without fail as a testament to that. And you might say, oh, but we've not collected all the data. Well, I would say that how many people in, you go down every prison in Scotland, see how many are there for their first offence, and I guarantee you're not going to find a lot, man. It's just the way it is. But how do you get for that part where you're thinking about change, transformation, to actually fucking doing it? And I would say prison did help me that way, and I'm not going to sit and lie about it and make it like I did it myself. I ain't got to thank you for shit. Well, I don't need to thank them. Maybe paying for my degree, aye, but I put the fucking work in. Know what I mean? So, but where is your opportunities and motivation to change inside a prison? There's no. Um, and that's where this desistance, I think, could tie in. See, the teaching this literature, obviously this is all mine shit, but it's all referenced. I just can't be asked going, according to Mr. X 2001 page 85, blah blah blah, because that's the way it reads, and I don't, and just try to do it for quickness, not what I mean. So where can the motivation, right, to transform, the capacity to act differently, where can that catalyse in prison? It's almost like, no an oxymoron, but like, act better in a place where everybody just applauds bad behaviour, violence. Does it boil down to what one you want more, who you care about more, or they all think I'm a dafty, but my family will be doing with it, like, fucking, listen man, it is kinda the start. See, like, try to kind of block out all the old thoughts and feelings and all that shit, but you know what? See, if you love something more than you love prison or whatever, then you'll find a way. But this is what it needs to tie into. This is what this guy called a redemption script, right? So the guy who wrote Mind That book I was telling you about, Making Good, I walked out of jail with, right? So this guy's actually wrote, this is me paraphrasing it, it's no verbatim. Ex-offenders committed to desistance told of a redemption script that contained 3 important features. Number 1, optimism about one's capacity to surmount barriers. 2, enthusiasm about contributing to causes greater than oneself. And 3, belief in one's good self. So obviously, believing in your ability to fucking overcome all these problems, and being enthusiastic about putting into something greater than yourself. Do you know what I mean? So see, like that we were talking about, like the what do you call it? With the offender charities, got to, like, putting something in. Well, you're not gaining. You're maybe gaining helping people be on the straight and narrow, but you're not gaining, like you're not walking out of this with, like, fucking, you're no rich. But if you want to look at it a certain way, that compared to where you've lived before, then aye, every day is Christmas in my life. Know what I mean? Just because of where I've been in life in some fucking low places, know what I mean? Um, but there's some academics have been saying how, right, the lack of motivation on the part of the ex-offender isn't the only issue. They've actually I made it like, how do I put it to you? How many people who go straight when they get out, they vacillate in between the first stage of the assistance and the second. So the first is changing thoughts, and then the second one is changing, no, so behaviour and identity. So the first primary assistance, when you stop committing crimes, eventually that starts to become part of your behaviour, right? So basically what they're saying was how lack of opportunities, like this kind of social purgatory, where people, and I can speak for this, up till now, you're just coming out to, especially in this post fucking COVID world, know what I mean? Like fucking, it's just, everything's so different and fucked up now, but and as I've said before about other these other bodies, these agencies were saying about if employing this guy and that guy and blah blah blah, we'll train them up. No, I never seen any of that, right? And it's something that I want to look into down the road, because this organisation I'm sure is still running, and I would like to explore what they're doing with that, because I'm no going Ockram or anything, but I would like to ask them some serious probing questions about how they operate. Um, but I would just say that there definitely has to be more done for especially long termers, especially because these guys are, they're obviously they're committing very very serious offences, right? And if they can hit that, see, like when you're just out, that is a critical period, right, where you can fall back into old habits, old places, right? So if you can get this stuff in there, make people start to see themselves in this literature, that's got to sink into somebody. Trust me, man. Because there's a lot of very smart people who are locked up who maybe some of them deserve a second chance, right? It's not down to me to say aye or no, or kind of obviously have personal feelings on a case by case basis, you know what I mean? But I believe that most people are good. Most, they just do bad shit, daft shit. Do you know what I mean? At first I would have said aye, I was bad, but no, I would have just said I was just a traumatised wee guy, man, that didn't know how to let it out, other than being violent, because violence is kind of the culture, and it's the same in prison as well. It's applauded. It's like it's the screws might put you on report for it. The screws might give you a report, but your pals give you a medal. And I don't mean that like they actually give you a medal. It's like it's not really got to do a lot of people much good, in the sense of trying to fucking stay on the straight. Do you know what I mean? It's just, but at the same time, we do need prisons for people who are fucking after nuts. So what do you do? Know what I mean? Can't just go, oh, we'll need to shut all these jails down because we're hurting everybody's feelings. Aye, right. But there was something very interesting that one of the criminologists wrote, and he wrote, no amount of personal change, this is a direct quote, no amount of personal change can secure desistance if change is not recognised and supported by the community, social rehabilitation, by the law, and by the state, judicial rehabilitation. So let me ask you this, right? Say if somebody like me could present to a court that I've morally and psychologically rehabilitated myself, should they no follow through with the judicial rehabilitation? Maybe that is, if you can present say 2 points or more on that 4 point thing, so judicial rehabilitation, moral, social, and fuck knows what the other one was. There's four of them anyway. That maybe they should follow through, because it's like I've just said, there definitely has to be more for that, for guys coming out, resettling back in the community and all that, because do you know what, we're actually lucky here, because see in America, see if you're what they call a convicted felon, you can't sign on, you can't get a council house, you can't get 90% of jobs, fucking you're it's like a chess game, and you're just the pawn. You're just a pawn. You can't use kings, knights, nothing, or snakes and ladders without ladders. It's fucking. I don't think the system set out to fail. I think that it's just a perfect storm of failure, man. It's what I heard one guy in prison use the word omni shambles. That's the jail system for you. But this was just meant to be a short video. I know I come on and just say hello, it's a new year and I'm going to make more videos and all that shit. But look like it turned into a bit of a ramble, didn't it? I'm going to fucking, I should have somebody on in the next week or so. Should be interesting. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Just got to batter 1-2 of them out a month, I know, so you just like sitting talking to somebody about, hi, and how did you get your act together? Know what I mean? But glad just to get this, see that Christmas, New Year's, glad to just get it out the way. Now I can concentrate in a new year. What I want to be doing, as I said, by this time next year. So, and as I says, I've never done that, and I used to like kind of scoff at people who did, like, write down your top 10 fucking goals for this year, like, for what? And here I'm fucking doing it. Don't knock it till you've tried it, as they say. But I hope I'm going to come back on tomorrow, the next day, and do like some crime stuff. But I wanted to come on and just kind of talk about this, obviously, because this is a huge part of my journey. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, being where I've been in that, and then to get a job, then, well, it's not a job, it's volunteering, but it could lead to that. It could lead to working in that place, and obviously that will open new doors in itself, and the doors will open new doors. So I finally feel like things are starting to happen, and I'm not going to lie, it's scary as fuck as well. See, when I actually stop to think about it, like, I feel like my life's in the middle of a transition, or something. I don't fucking know. It just feels a bit weird. But I'm going to go back to making my big pot of butter chicken. Get a pot of butter chicken on my slow cooker, man. It's too good. But cheers for everybody that's been watching, subbing and all that anyway. It is appreciated, and I do try and answer everybody. But I'll jump back on tomorrow or something. I was just, as I says, I've not been on a couple of days, so I just thought I'd come on and do a wee quick one. Well, it was meant to be quick, 40 minutes or something now. But yous all take care, and it's good to be back, and here's to a full year. No, a couple of months. Right, yous take care, I'll speak to yous all soon, good night.